with two, in trouble, forced up, and in!
Dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer, banks it in! And on the crossover,
Kobe Bryant, the world's great black Mamba of basketball. From a lonesome black boy in Rieti, Italy, where his family squeezed into a small apartment with meager income from his father's basketball career, his worn-out, sweat-soaked shoes on a rickety public court under the 100-degree sun, Kobe Bryant rose to become an NBA legend, living like royalty in a $6.1 million mansion in Newport Coast and owning a collection of a Ferrari 458 Italia and a Lamborghini Murcielago worth over $600,000, an incredibly lavish life. But the 2003 sexual assault scandal nearly shattered everything, with his family and fans losing faith in him, turning him from an idol into a target of criticism. Overcoming the turmoil, the Lakers legend confidently inspired millions with his Mamba mentality philosophy, and his legacy continues to live on even after his passing. Today, let's delve into the journey that created the Black Mamba legend, Kobe Bryant. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting content about top NBA stars. A lonesome black boy in Italy. Kobe Bryant, the legendary Black Mamba, an indomitable warrior on the court. But before the bright lights of the NBA illuminated his path, Kobe's childhood was a bumpy ride where sweat mingled with tears and dreams grew amidst adversity. Let's rewind time to Kobe's early days, when things weren't as easy as we might think. Kobe Bean Bryant was born on August 23, 1978, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, into a family where basketball was life. His father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, was a former professional basketball player in the NBA, but when Kobe was young, Joe's career didn't provide enough financial stability. When Kobe was 6, his family left the U.S. for Italy, where Joe continued to play in European leagues. For many, it was an exciting adventure, but for Kobe, it was the beginning of isolation. A black boy speaking English amidst the ancient cobblestone streets of Rieti, Italy. He was an outsider. In his early days in Italy, Kobe didn't speak Italian, and the local kids weren't very welcoming. He once told the Players' Tribune that he often stood alone on the basketball court shooting a worn-out ball into a wobbly hoop while other kids played nearby. "I just wanted to play with them," he probably told himself hundreds of times, but that loneliness forged him. Each shot was not just a movement, but a declaration of war against the world, that he wouldn't let his circumstances define him. The Bryant family lived in tight conditions. Joe earned money from basketball, but it wasn't enough to cover the days when his mother, Pam, had to count every penny for groceries. Kobe didn't have expensive basketball shoes or fancy training sessions like many kids in the U.S. He learned to play basketball in torn shoes on rough concrete courts under the scorching Italian summer sun. Once he sat looking at his torn shoes and wondered, "Can I do this?" But then he got up, laced his shoes, and kept shooting, because he had no choice but to move forward. When he returned to the U.S. in the early 90s, Kobe entered Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania. By then, he had developed superior basketball skills from his years in Italy, but life was still not easy. He faced skepticism from his peers who thought he was just a kid from Europe who didn't understand American basketball, but Kobe didn't say much. He let his talent speak. Early in the morning, when it was still misty, people saw the 17-year-old boy alone on the court, practicing until exhaustion. That was how he turned pain into strength. Before entering the 1996 NBA draft, Kobe wasn't just a young talent. He was a symbol of resilience. His childhood wasn't filled with ready-made glory, but with days of igniting his own passion. For today's audience, looking back on that journey, perhaps we see a reflection of ourselves, those who have struggled, doubted, but never given up. Kobe did it, and he reminds us that no matter how low our starting point, we can still reach for the stars. Kobe Bryant's career wasn't a fairy tale with a path strewn with flowers. It was a tough journey where talent faced challenges. From his early days in the harsh world of the NBA, Kobe wanted to prove himself, to showcase his unique skills. But then, 4 air balls in just 5 minutes almost shattered the young rookie's confidence. From 4 catastrophic air balls to Lakers legend, Kobe joined the Los Angeles Lakers in 1996 at the age of 17 through a trade from the Charlotte Hornets in the NBA draft. A kid fresh out of high school, never having played college basketball, stepped into the toughest league in the world. His first few games were almost a complete washout. In his debut, he scored only 1 point against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Remember the 1997 playoffs against the Utah Jazz when Kobe missed 4 crucial air balls, shots that didn't even touch the rim, like a punch to his confidence. That night, on the bench, he bowed his head, clutching a water bottle, telling himself, "I can't be this weak again." Kobe didn't crumble. He turned failure into fuel. That summer, people saw him in the gym at dawn, shooting hoops for hours on the empty court, sweat soaking his shirt. That perseverance began to bear fruit. By 2000, alongside Shaquille O'Neal, he led the Lakers to glory with their first NBA championship. 2 more titles followed in 2001 and 2002, but the spotlight didn't erase the scars. The growing feud with Shaq pushed him into a storm of criticism. When Shaq left the team in 2004, Kobe faced a shattered Lakers with playoff-less seasons and suffocating pressure from the media. 2006 was a turning point. Kobe exploded with an 81-point game against the Toronto Raptors, the second highest score in NBA history, only behind Wilt Chamberlain. That night, he didn't just score points, he rewrote his own story. But personal highs didn't erase the collective hunger. The Lakers struggled, and Kobe faced doubt. Could he win without Shaq? He responded with action. From the gym to the court, he poured every ounce of effort, leading the team through dark days. In 2009, he brought the Lakers back to the throne, defeating the Orlando Magic. A year later, in 2010, he overcame the Boston Celtics to win his 5th title. When the final buzzer sounded, Kobe stood in the middle of the court, his eyes red with pride and exhaustion. His career wasn't without blemishes. The Achilles tendon injury in 2013 nearly ended it all, but Kobe returned even though his legs weren't the same. On his farewell day in 2016, he scored 60 points in his final game against the Utah Jazz, a perfect goodbye. According to ESPN, he scored a total of 33,643 points in his career, a number that tells the story of someone who never stopped pushing forward. Kobe Bryant proved that glory doesn't come easily. He failed, he was doubted, but each time he fell, he rose stronger. For those who witnessed that journey, it wasn't just basketball. It was a lesson in perseverance, in daring to dream big even when the world turned its back. Kobe didn't just play basketball, he inspired us to believe that no matter how rough the road, the destination is always worth it. Kobe Bryant, the name is not just a basketball icon, but a living testament to turning dreams into reality, from humble beginnings to a massive fortune. From his difficult days in Italy with torn shoes and rough concrete courts, dreaming of stepping into the NBA spotlight. Upon returning to the U.S., he entered the 1996 NBA draft with his first contract of just $3.5 million over 3 years with the Lakers. But from that small amount, Kobe exploded, turning it into the foundation for a $600 million fortune by the time of his death in 2020, according to Forbes. This isn't just a story about money, but about the will to rise from poverty to the pinnacle of success. Millionaire entrepreneur with a real estate kingdom. Real estate, the mansions of Black Mamba. Kobe didn't just invest in himself on the basketball court, he also poured money into real estate. Mansions that reflected his vision and success. He owned at least 3 luxurious homes in Orange County, California, with a total value of approximately $18.8 million in 2012, according to Business Insider. One of them, a Mediterranean-style villa in Newport Coast, was sold for $6.1 million in 2015, setting a regional record at the time. This 8,471-square-foot house wasn't just a residence. It was a statement, a Shark Tank, a home theater, an 850-square-foot gym, all speaking to the opulence he built for himself. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. In 2013, Kobe listed the house for $8.6 million, but the market didn't cooperate. He waited patiently, gradually lowered the price, and finally closed the deal successfully. Once, standing in the spacious living room, he looked out the window at the coastline and thought to himself, "I've come a long way." These houses weren't just assets. They were symbols of someone who once had nothing and now owned a kingdom. Car collection, speed, and passion. If real estate was where Kobe laid his foundation, his car collection was where he expressed his passion for speed, something that had been with him since his days in Italy, where he was fascinated by Italian supercars. Kobe owned a dream garage, a Lamborghini Murcielago, a Bentley Continental GT, a Range Rover, and the pinnacle, a $329,000 Ferrari 458 Italia that he bought in cash in 2012, according to TMZ. For him, each car was not just a means of transportation, but a reward for years of hard work on the court. That Ferrari was a story in itself. That year, when his Lakers salary hit $25 million, Kobe walked into the showroom, placed his hand on the bright red body, and told the salesman, "I want it today." That's how he lived, strong, decisive, not waiting for anyone. Kobe's car collection wasn't just assets. It was a symbol of a man always moving forward, whether on the court or on the racetrack of life. Smart investments, from the court to the business world. But the real assets that took Kobe to new heights weren't just houses or cars, but smart investments. In 2014, he invested $6 million for a 10% stake in Body Armor, a small sports drink company. When Coca-Cola acquired Body Armor for $5.6 billion in 2021, Kobe's investment skyrocketed to $400 million before taxes, according to CNBC. It was a perfect long shot off the court, proving he wasn't just an athlete, but an outstanding businessman. Kobe also co-founded the investment fund Bryant Stibel in 2013 with $100 million, targeting technology, media, and data. He would sit in his office, look at the numbers, and smile as the small companies he invested in began to take off. According to ESPN, with a total income of $680 million from NBA salaries, $328 million, and endorsement deals, $350 million during his career, he turned every dollar into leverage to build an empire. A legacy beyond numbers. When Kobe passed away in a helicopter crash in 2020, he left a $600 million estate to his wife Vanessa and their children. But the true value wasn't just in money. It was the house he built for his family, the car he drove with his children, and the investments that secured the future for generations to come. Kobe's assets were a testament to an explosive journey. He rose from hardship, turned dreams into reality, and left a legacy that makes us wonder, if Kobe could do it, why can't I? That's the true power of Black Mamba. Not just wealthy, but inspiring each of us to dare to dream big. Kobe Bryant wasn't just Black Mamba on the basketball court, he was also a master in the art of enjoying life. With a fortune of hundreds of millions of dollars earned from sweat and talent, Kobe turned his rare days off into luxurious, unique experiences that amazed anyone. From top-tier travel and a penchant for helicopter flights to a passion for cinema, he didn't just live, He lived like a modern-day king. Passion for soaring through the skies. Luxurious travel, the world at his fingertips. Kobe didn't hesitate to spend money to explore the world in his own way. He frequently took his family to the most luxurious destinations, from the Amalfi Coast of Italy, reminiscent of his childhood, to lavish resorts in the Maldives. According to Travel Plus Leisure, one of his memorable vacations was at the Four Seasons Hotel in Bora Bora, where he rented an entire overwater villa for tens of thousands of dollars per night. Kobe would stand on the balcony, watching the fiery red sunset, feeling the gentle sea breeze, and that feeling, absolute freedom, was something he would never trade. This is a worthy reward, he might have thought while sipping a fine glass of wine alongside his wife Vanessa and their children. Helicopters, the sky as a playground. But if there was one indulgence that defined Kobe's luxury, it was helicopters. He owned a private Sikorsky S-76 worth approximately $4 million, not only to avoid Los Angeles traffic, but also to enjoy the feeling of dominating the sky. Kobe often flew over the Hollywood Hills, looking down at the city's dazzling lights, feeling every vibration of the engine like the beat of his heart on the basketball court. He once told friends, according to the New York Times, "Flying high, everything becomes small. It makes me feel invincible." For Kobe, a helicopter wasn't just a means of transportation. It was a symbol of freedom and power, something that only those who dared to dream big could touch. Passion for cinema, Hollywood within reach. Kobe also had a deep love for cinema, not as an ordinary fan, but as someone willing to invest, to live in that world. After retiring, he poured his heart into Granity Studios, where he produced the animated film Dear Basketball, which won an Oscar in 2018. But before that, he spent money to experience Hollywood in his own way, attending private film screenings, renting theaters for his family, and even inviting renowned directors like Steven Spielberg to his home for conversations. Once, sitting in his 850-square-foot home theater in Newport Coast, he laughed while watching a scene he had dubbed "Feeling Like a Child Touching a Dream for the First Time." For Kobe, cinema wasn't just a hobby, it was a way to extend his passion for storytelling from the basketball court to the larger world. Life is for enjoying Kobe Bryant didn't just make money, he knew how to spend it to turn every moment into a masterpiece. From luxurious travels and soaring flights to immersing himself in the lights of Hollywood, he lived by the philosophy that life is for enjoying, not just surviving. For those who admired him, it was a reminder that success isn't just about numbers. It's about the feeling when you stand at the top, look down, and know that every effort was worth it. Kobe didn't just play basketball well, he lived a life that everyone dreams of. The above are the hobbies and interests of Kobe Bryant that we have gathered from various sources. If you want to know more interesting details about the behind-the-scenes life of this coach, we encourage you to explore other sources for the most accurate information. Kobe Bryant is an icon of greatness, but also the focus of indelible stains. The biggest scandal of his life, the 2003 allegation of sexual assault against a 19-year-old hotel receptionist, shook the image of Black Mamba and left a permanently controversial legacy. Allegation of sexual assault against a hotel receptionist. On June 30th, 2003, Kobe entered the Lodge and Spa at Cordillera in Colorado to prepare for knee surgery. A 19-year-old hotel receptionist gave him a tour, then went to his room. According to her, what happened next was not consensual, but rape. She told police that Kobe blocked the door, choked her, and despite her pleas to stop, he continued, reports from the Daily Beast showed that her blood was found on Kobe's shirt, and medical reports noted injuries consistent with forced penetration. Kobe, then 24, initially denied, "I didn't do anything." But when confronted with DNA evidence, he admitted to having sex, though insisted it was voluntary. the news broke like a bombshell. Kobe, the Lakers' shining star, who had just won 3 consecutive NBA championships, was now labeled a sexual assailant. The public was sharply divided. On one side was a fanatical crowd, claiming that the young woman only wanted money and fame from a celebrity. On the other side, including those who had idolized him, turned their backs. How can we believe him anymore? Kobe stood in the middle, facing the risk of imprisonment, from 4 years to life, according to Colorado law. He appeared at a press conference with his wife Vanessa, eyes red, declaring, "I am innocent of this charge, but I have committed adultery." That half-hearted confession only added fuel to the fire. The case lasted 14 months, full of shocking details. Kobe's legal team threw up smoke screens exploiting the girl's private life, from her wearing underwear with other people's semen to a history of mental instability. The press, as noted by the Los Angeles Times, turned her into a liar in the eyes of many. The pressure was so intense that she refused to testify, causing the criminal case to be dropped on September 1st, 2004. But the story didn't end there. A civil lawsuit was filed, and Kobe had to pay an undisclosed amount to settle. In a public apology, he said, "I understand that she did not consider that to be consensual." That statement, to some, was a veiled admission of guilt. The consequences? Kobe lost a series of major endorsement deals. Nike hesitated, McDonald's cut ties. In the public eye, he was no longer the golden boy. Those who once chanted his name now whispered behind his back, he got away with it because of money and fame. Although he rebuilt his image with Mamba mentality and 2 more NBA championships, the stain of 2003 remained. When he passed away in 2020, the controversy reignited. Honor him or remember the forgotten victim? Putting aside the behind-the-scenes controversies, we see Kobe Bryant as a devoted husband and father, with a private life full of emotional ups and downs, from sweetness to storms. His marriage to Vanessa Bryant was an imperfect but enduring journey, which makes us deeply moved when we look back. It is a story of love, forgiveness after the mistakes made by the Lakers legend. Marriage strongly opposed. Because his wife was white. Kobe met Vanessa Lane in 1999 when he was 21 and she was just 17 on the set of the East Sedaz's Geet Up music video, where Vanessa was a backup dancer. According to People, Kobe was immediately drawn to her bright eyes and radiant smile. He called her for hours, sent flowers to her high school, and just 6 months later, they were engaged. But that love was not welcomed. Kobe's parents, Joe and Pam, strongly opposed it because Vanessa was not a person of color and the relationship was moving too fast. They refused to attend the wedding on April 18, 2001, at St. Edward's Church in Dana Point, California. Kobe stood hand in hand with Vanessa, his heart heavy without his family by his side, but his eyes were firm. She is all I need. Their marriage soon faced challenges. In 2003, the sexual assault allegation scandal in Colorado erupted, threatening to tear everything apart. Kobe admitted to adultery, and Vanessa, who was pregnant with their first daughter Natalia, faced a painful crossroads. The public sneered, friends advised her to leave, but Vanessa chose to stay. At the press conference, she sat next to him, hands clasped tightly, though her red eyes couldn't hide the pain. After the incident, she suffered a miscarriage, a loss that Kobe called the biggest punishment in his autobiography, The Mamba Mentality. Eventually, Vanessa forgave him, and they rebuilt from the ashes. Kobe's private life wasn't just about storms, it was also about warm moments. He was the father of 4 daughters, Natalia, Gianna, Bianca, and Capri. Kobe was known for spoiling his children, often taking them to Disneyland by private helicopter, or sitting up late watching cartoons with Gianna. Once he told ESPN that Natalia asked, "Dad, What if I want to play basketball? Kobe laughed. Then I'll be your coach, just like I was for myself. He lived for his family, and Vanessa was the silent pillar, managing everything so he could focus on the court. But tragedy struck on January 26, 2020, when Kobe and Gianna died in a helicopter crash. Vanessa lost her husband of 19 years and her beloved daughter, leaving behind unspeakable pain. At the memorial service at Staples Center, she choked up. "You are my MVP." For us, who witnessed love that could overcome scandal and loss, Kobe and Vanessa's story is a reminder that family is not always perfect, but it's worth fighting for. Kobe was not just a star. He was a man who loved, made mistakes, and spent his life trying to fix them. Kobe Bryant didn't just leave a mark on the basketball court. He also etched his name into the hearts of millions through his influence and meaningful charitable work. For our generation who lived through the years of his rise and fall, Kobe's legacy is an inspiring flame, a hand lifting those less fortunate. He didn't just play basketball well, he lived to change lives. Mamba mentality. Philosophy of never giving up influences. Globally, Kobe's influence went far beyond the 33,643 points in his NBA career. Mamba mentality, a philosophy of persistence and never giving up, became a guiding principle for millions, from athletes to those struggling in life. After retiring in 2016, he didn't rest on his laurels, but threw himself into inspiring others through Granity Studios, where he produced Dear Basketball, the 2018 Oscar-winning film. Kobe once stood before a crowd of children at a basketball camp in Los Angeles, his eyes shining, saying, "You don't have to be good from the start, but you have to start to become good." That statement, recorded by ESPN, wasn't just advice. It was a gust of wind blowing up dreams. But Kobe didn't just stop at words. He and his wife Vanessa founded the Kobe and Vanessa Bryant Family Foundation, KVBF, in 2007 to support disadvantaged youth and homeless families. According to Forbes, he donated millions of dollars to build housing, provide scholarships, and organize sports programs for underprivileged children in Los Angeles. Once, in the Skid Row slums, Kobe quietly stepped out of a black SUV, handing a basketball to a skinny boy with torn sleeves. The boy looked up, his eyes sparkling with hope, and Kobe smiled. The smile of someone who understood that he had been in the same position, dreaming in torn shoes in Italy. He didn't boast, but that action changed the boy's life forever. Kobe also left a global mark. In 2011, he partnered with After School All-Stars, bringing educational and sports opportunities to over 100,000 American children. He also supported the Make-A-Wish Foundation, fulfilling hundreds of wishes for children with life-threatening illnesses. A little girl once told CNN that Kobe sat next to her in the hospital, holding her hand and telling stories about thrilling games, making her forget her pain for a few hours. When he passed away in 2020, millions cried not only for the loss of a legend, but for the loss of someone who always reached out to help. Kobe Bryant's influence and philanthropy are proof that he didn't just live for himself. For us, he is a reminder that true success is not in titles, but in what you leave behind. Kobe did that and more. More than 5 years since Kobe Bryant left us, his legacy is not just a memory, but a flame that still burns brightly, continuing to spread and grow. For those who lived through the era of Black Mamba dominating the court, what stirs our hearts is not just the beautiful shots, but how he left a better world through charity, creativity, and an indomitable spirit. Kobe is no longer here, but what he sowed is still growing, touching every corner of life. Kobe's enduring legacy. The Kobe and Vanessa Bryant Family Foundation, KVBF, established in 2007, is now a beacon for those facing hardship. In 2025, the foundation expanded its Mamba Scholars Scholarship Program, supporting over 10,000 underprivileged youths in Los Angeles, according to Forbes. Vanessa, with unwavering resolve, cut the ribbon at a new sports center in Compton, where children play basketball on a court named after Kobe. A young boy in worn-out shoes shoots a basket and smiles. That look reminiscent of Kobe's early days in Italy. He's not here to witness it, but every shot is proof that his kindness continues to change lives. The Mamba mentality spirit also continues to thrive. This year, Nike continued the Mamba shoe line with the Kobe 2025 model, selling out in 24 hours, with a portion of the proceeds going back to the KVBF coaches across the United States, from schools to summer camps, still tell the story of Kobe, who threw 4 air balls in 1997 and then stood up stronger. A coach in Chicago, holding the Mamba Mentality book, tells his students, "Kobe taught me that failure is not the end, it's the beginning." That message echoes as if Kobe himself is still leading the way. Kobe Bryant, from a boy in Philadelphia with big dreams, overcoming doubts to shine with the Lakers, living through glory and the scars of scandal, then leaving it all in tragedy, we realize that life doesn't promise perfection, but demands relentless perseverance. Kobe's Mamba mentality teaches us that burning passion and discipline can turn the toughest days into victories. That falls, no matter how painful, are not the end, but the beginning of standing up stronger. We learn that every moment is precious, that living to the fullest is the only way to have no regrets. Finally, all information in this video is gathered from reliable sources and is for reference only. We encourage you to explore other sources for the most accurate information. Thank you for joining me on this emotional journey through the life of Kobe Bryant, an icon who touched the hearts of millions. If Kobe's story resonates with you, please hit like to spread this immortal Mamba spirit. Share the video with your loved ones, especially those who loved Kobe and the values he left behind. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss the next videos about legends like this.